Good morning. Welcome to the IELTS Speaking Test. My name is David Carter, and I will be your examiner today. The candidate is Rina Ahmed, and the candidate number is 882104. This test is being recorded. Could you please state your full name for the record?
Yes, my full name is Rina Sultana Ahmed.
Thank you, Rina. Can I see your identification, please?
Certainly, here is my passport.
Thank you. That's fine. In this first part, I'd like to ask you some questions about yourself. Let's talk about your hometown. Where are you from?
I'm from Chittagong, which is a major port city in the southeastern part of Bangladesh. It's known for its bustling commercial activity and its proximity to the hills and the sea.
What is the most interesting part of your hometown?
For me, the most interesting part is the blend of nature and industry. You can be in a busy, crowded market one moment, and then just a short drive away, you can be in the serene environment of the Chittagong Hill Tracts or relaxing by Patinga Beach. I think that contrast is really unique.
Would you say it's a good place for young people to grow up?
Yes, I think so. It offers good educational and job opportunities because it's a commercial hub. At the same time, the access to natural landscapes provides a great outlet for recreation and adventure, which I think is very healthy for young people.
Now, let's talk about what you do on weekends. How do you usually spend your weekends?
My weekends are usually a mix of relaxation and productivity. On Saturdays, I often try to catch up on my studies or any personal projects. Then on Sundays, I like to spend time with my family and friends. We might go out for a meal, watch a movie, or just stay home and chat.
Do you prefer to spend your weekends at home or outside?
It really depends on my mood and how busy my week has been. If I've had a very hectic week, I love nothing more than staying at home with a good book and a cup of tea. But if I'm feeling energetic, I enjoy going out, perhaps to a park, a cafe, or visiting a new place in the city.
Do you think it's important to make plans for your weekend?
I think it's good to have a rough idea, but I don't believe in planning every single hour. Weekends are a time to de-stress, so being too rigid can sometimes defeat the purpose. A bit of spontaneity is nice, but having one or two planned activities ensures the weekend doesn't just slip away.
Thank you. That is the end of part 1. Now, I'm going to give you a topic, and I'd like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. Before you talk, you'll have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say. You can make some notes if you wish. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
All right. Remember, you have 1 to 2 minutes for this, so don't worry if I stop you. I'll tell you when the time is up. Can you start speaking now, please?
Of course. A time I received some particularly good news that I remember very vividly was when I found out I had won a scholarship for my university studies. This was about 2 years ago, just after I had finished my A-levels. I was at home, sitting in my study room, anxiously checking my email every 5 minutes. The university had said the results would be announced that day, and the suspense was almost unbearable. When the email finally popped into my inbox with the subject line, "Scholarship Offer," my heart started pounding. I clicked on it, and my eyes scanned the text until I saw the word "Congratulations." Honestly, for a moment, I was just speechless. I read the email 2 or 3 times just to make sure I wasn't dreaming. Once it sunk in, I just let out a huge shout of joy and ran out of my room to find my parents. They were in the living room, and when I told them, they were just as ecstatic as I was. There were lots of hugs and happy tears. It was really an emotional and wonderful moment for our whole family. This news was so important to me because, firstly, It was a huge financial relief for my parents. University education can be quite expensive, and this scholarship meant that the burden on them would be significantly less. But more than that, it was a validation of all the hard work I had put into my studies for years. All those late nights studying and the sacrifices I had made felt completely worth it in that single moment. It gave me a tremendous boost of confidence and made me feel that I was on the right path to achieving my academic and career goals. It truly felt like a turning point in my life.
Thank you. Can I have the card and the paperback, please? We've been talking about receiving good news, and now I'd like to discuss this with you in a more general way. How do people in your country usually share good news?
Traditionally, people would visit each other's homes to share important news in person, often bringing sweets or gifts. That personal touch is still very valued. However, nowadays, technology plays a huge role. The most common way is probably through a phone call to close family and friends. For a wider circle, people use social media platforms like Facebook or messaging apps like WhatsApp to announce things like a new job, an engagement, or academic success.
How has technology changed the way we communicate news with each other?
It has changed it dramatically. The biggest change is the speed and reach. News, whether personal or public, can be shared with thousands of people around the world in an instant. This is incredible. However, I think it has also made communication a bit less personal. A heartfelt congratulatory message in person or over the phone sometimes feels more meaningful than a like or a short comment on a social media post. So it's a trade-off between efficiency and intimacy.
Do you think it is better to receive news from a friend or from a news report?
I think it depends on the type of news. For personal news about someone I know, I would much rather hear it directly from them or a mutual friend. It feels more authentic and allows for a genuine emotional exchange. For public events or global affairs, a professional news report is better because it's supposed to be more objective, fact-checked, and provide a broader context. A friend might pass on rumors or incomplete information about larger events.
Do you believe everything you read in the newspapers or see on TV news?
Absolutely not. While I trust reputable news organizations to do their best, I'm also aware of things like media bias, political influence, and the pressure to publish stories quickly. I think it's crucial to be a critical consumer of news. I try to get my information from a variety of sources with different perspectives to form a more balanced view. In the age of social media, it's especially important to be skeptical and verify information before believing or sharing it.
Thank you very much. That is the end of the IELTS speaking test.